Hi everyone, it's Amy. I wanted to come on today to show you this card that I've created and to share with you how I made the background with watercolours. So I started off by using this Daler & Rowney Aquafine watercolour paper, and this worked really well with the technique that I was using. And the watercolour that I used, I bought this set in Hobbycraft, or at least a year ago now. It was £5. Really good value. As you can see, you get lots of different colours. And the first colour I used was this light blue. So I made it darker at the top, watered it down towards the bottom, removed some of the watercolour to create the clouds. Really liked this. Then I did the same effect but using the darker blue. Now what I noticed with this colour is the texture of the paper was really starting to show through, and I wasn't sure that I particularly liked that, so I decided to try a different paper. I've had this in my cupboard for I don't know how long. Daler & Rowney mixed media paper. I thought I'd give it a go as soon as I had it, and I much preferred how this looked. So although it's not designed specifically for watercolours, you can see that the texture of the paper is not quite as obvious. I used the same colour as the first one, and I think it's just a much cleaner look with the mixed media paper. Then I did the same one with the darker, but unfortunately while this was drying on the floor I decided to roll my chair over it, so I can't actually use this one, but hey, it's an experience, isn't it? Then I decided to change tack and I tried some different colours. Now I really like these purples. They're very whimsical. Didn't come off as well, but I think that was just where I'm getting used to watercolouring, and I really like the effect that this has created. I like that it's quite smudged down the bottom, and my absolute favourite is this one. Absolutely love this one. Looks like a beautiful sunset. And this one and this one are the ones I'm going to try and recreate on camera. Fingers crossed I can actually do it. So let's start with the sunset. So I started with the paper and I sellotaped it down to my craft mat, which doesn't help the technique per se, it stops your paper from moving around while you're working or you having to put your fingers on it. Start with clean water and quite a wide brush, and the first thing that you're going to need to do is wet the paper. This will allow the watercolours to move while you're working. Now this is very much trial and error as to how much water to put on the paper. There is no magic remedy, but I've found that once the paper starts to lift slightly from my craft mat, that's generally when I stop. That's just kind of me guessing, to be quite honest with you, but you need to go over this a few times and you need to give the water a chance to soak into the paper. Otherwise your watercolours are pretty much just going to sit on top of the paper, not really move around very much. Just keep going backwards and forwards and then up and down. I can feel that this paper is just starting to lift, so I'm going to stop there. Now with my other set of water, I've got a slightly thinner brush. This one's an 8. And I'm going to start with this dark red. I'm going to add some water to the palette. And I'm going to start at the top. It's not really a dark red, it's more of a dark orange, isn't it? Sorry, it's late on a Sunday. Oh, I really enjoyed doing this today though, actually. It's been very relaxing. Nice way to spend a Sunday afternoon. I'm going to go about just under a third of the way down, because this is where I'm going to want to start mixing this with my next colour. So I'm going to go in with this orange, this medium orange, and I'm not going to start blending it together just yet. You can see it's just starting to bleed down, which is working well in my favour. I'm going to start by adding the true colour to the middle first. It shows me what kind of shade this colour is, and then I'm going to start bringing it up, add a bit more water, start bringing it up to meet that red, and I'm going to move up and down a few times just to kind of create a seamless transition between the two. I feel like I want a little bit more red there. That's beautiful colours. You can keep adding until you're happy with the colour. I'm going to bring that orange down just a tiny bit more. And now I'm going to go in with my yellow at the bottom. So I'm using this yellow, it's quite a sunshine colour. We'll start at the bottom. So again, having a look at what the true colour is first. And then as I bring this up, I'm going to start blending this with the orange. Oh, wrong colour. I'm going to add a bit more orange here to where they've joined. And a little bit more. And I feel like I want it to be a little bit darker at the top. So I'm going to just add a tiny bit of this slightly darker red to the top. Get a bit more paint on my brush. Oh, that's better, that's more the colour I want. I'll blend that down into the lighter red. Blend that into the orange. Okay, and now what I'm going to want to do is start creating my clouds. Now to do that, you need a piece of kitchen roll. And I'd advise getting some decent kitchen roll. This is plenty. I used a cheaper one first and it wasn't that great, to be honest. It just kind of smudged the paint around. And then all you want to do is start going in and taking some of the paint off with your kitchen roll. Now it's important that you keep moving the bit of kitchen roll that you have in your hand, because otherwise you're just going to be smudging the paint even into the paper even more. Now I'm not trying to make these clouds perfect because they're not normally in the sky. I'm just going to go in here and there where I feel like there should be a cloud. And what I like is this doesn't take the paint completely off. It doesn't go completely back to white. It's a much more subtle effect. And obviously the more you fold the paper, the greater control you have over where you're taking it off. If you scrunch it up too much, you end up with quite a big area that you're taking off. You can't control it as well. And to create a slightly different effect when you're removing the paint, you take a brush, dip it in the water and remove as much of the moisture as you can. Then what you can do is you can lift off some of the paint with your brush. Just keep wiping it off onto your kitchen roll and it creates a softer cloud. It's not quite as harsh as the kitchen roll. So as this is coming down to my pale yellow, I want the clouds to be quite a little bit less obvious. I think this cloud needs to be a bit bigger. I think I'm going to go back with my kitchen roll. That's better. Bring it all the way to the edge. I'm quite happy with that. Now if you wanted to, you could take your heat tool and dry your paper, but my worry would be that the paint would start to move around. So what I've been doing is I've just been leaving mine to dry completely, and as you can see that as it dries it does start to pale. So it's quite bright at the moment, but it will pale to a more pastel hue as it dries. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one off and then we'll get started on the purple one. there we have it, 2 quick and easy watercolour backdrops. Now to make them even easier, with the blue ones, I literally just used one shade of blue. I didn't mix different colours, I literally just used one shade, so a lighter one and a darker one to create those 2 different effects. And to be honest, it hasn't taken me very long to make these at all, and I've really enjoyed doing it. So I promise you, if I can give this a go, I'm 100% sure that you'll be able to do this as well, so have some fun. Do let me know if you give this a go, and I'll show you tomorrow what I've created using them. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Bye bye.